In the complex fabric of human psychology, few threads are as puzzling and chilling as those woven by a narcissistic upbringing. It's a psychological puzzle that, when unraveled, reveals a web of behaviors, emotions, and patterns that can deeply affect individuals throughout their lives. Understanding the signs of a narcissistic upbringing is crucial not only for self-awareness, but also for fostering healthier relationships and breaking the cycle. The genesis of narcissism. To comprehend the signs, we must first delve into the origins of narcissism. Narcissism, at its core, is a personality disorder characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a lack of empathy, and an insatiable need for admiration. It often traces its roots to childhood, where the nurturing ground for narcissistic tendencies is cultivated. 1. Constant validation craving. One of the most telling signs of a narcissistic upbringing is an incessant craving for validation. Children raised by narcissistic parents often learn that their worth is contingent upon the approval of their caregivers. Consequently, they grow up seeking external validation, struggling to develop a healthy sense of self-esteem. Growing up in a narcissistic household often means that children are conditioned to seek constant validation from their parents. Their self-worth becomes intricately tied to how their parents perceive them. As a result, they develop a deep-seated need for approval and validation from others in their adult lives. This can manifest as people-pleasing behavior, a fear of rejection, and an inability to make decisions without seeking external validation. They may feel compelled to excel in every aspect of their lives to gain approval, even at the expense of their own well-being. This could mean striving for top grades, a prestigious career, or an ideal appearance. When validation is consistently withheld or conditional, it can lead to feelings of inadequacy. As adults, they may struggle with self-doubt and find it challenging to accept compliments or believe in their abilities. Constantly seeking validation from others can make them overly dependent on external sources of approval. They may become anxious when they perceive any form of criticism, real or imagined. In their pursuit of validation, individuals may become adept at reading others and adjusting their behavior to please them, often at the expense of their own needs and desires. The fear of rejection can be so profound that they may avoid situations where they perceive even a slight possibility of not being accepted or liked. Constructive criticism may be received as a personal attack, triggering feelings of defensiveness or inadequacy. Recognizing these dynamics is crucial for understanding how a constant validation craving can affect an individual's relationships and decision-making processes in adulthood. 2. Difficulty in establishing boundaries. Narcissistic parents often have an overwhelming need for control. They view their children as extensions of themselves, placing their needs and emotions taking the back seat. As a result, children raised in such an environment may find it challenging to establish healthy boundaries. They may grow up feeling responsible for their parents' emotions, leaving them vulnerable to manipulation and emotional exploitation. Growing up in an environment where their boundaries were often ignored or violated, individuals from narcissistic households may experience difficulties setting healthy boundaries in adulthood. People-pleasing. They might go to great lengths to accommodate others, even when it's detrimental to their own well-being. They may have difficulty saying no or asserting their needs. The word no can become almost taboo as they grapple with the deep-seated fear of disappointing others or facing conflict. This reluctance to assert their own needs triggers a pattern of self-sacrifice that can have a real negative impact on their mental and emotional health. Tolerance for toxic relationships. Due to their lack of experience with healthy boundaries, they may tolerate toxic or abusive relationships, not recognizing the signs of manipulation or exploitation. They may overlook red flags of manipulation or exploitation, as they have been conditioned to accept and even internalize mistreatment from their formative years. This tolerance for toxic relationships can perpetuate cycles of emotional harm and perpetuate their own emotional vulnerabilities. Avoiding conflict. Conflict may be seen as something to be avoided at all costs, leading to a suppression of their own needs and feelings. 3. Fragile self-esteem. A narcissistic upbringing can leave scars on a child's self-esteem. Constant criticism, unrealistic expectations, and a lack of emotional support can erode their self-worth, leading to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt that persist into adulthood. Such children may internalize the belief that they are never good enough, and no matter how hard they try. Narcissistic parents' critical behavior, like being quick to point out their children's flaws, can have profound effects on their self-esteem, self-criticism. They may develop an inner voice that consistently criticizes their actions and decisions. This can lead to perfectionism and constant self-evaluation. Another is imposter syndrome. Even when they achieve success, they may feel like imposters, believing they don't truly deserve their accomplishments. They may also have trouble accepting compliments. Compliments and praise may make them uncomfortable or trigger feelings of skepticism. The pursuit of validation may extend beyond their relationships with their parents and influence various aspects of their lives. They may constantly seek external sources of validation, such as through material possessions, social media likes, or relationships, to compensate for their internal insecurity. This external validation becomes a coping mechanism to counteract the inner turmoil caused by their fragile self-esteem. In the process, they may find themselves stuck in unhealthy patterns of seeking approval from others to bolster their sense of self-worth. 4. Fear of vulnerability. Struggling with empathy, a narcissistic guardian can make it difficult for their children to express their emotions. Consequently, these children may develop a fear of vulnerability, suppressing their feelings and emotions to avoid rejection or ridicule. This fear of exposing their true selves can hinder their ability to form deep and meaningful connections with others, and lead to emotional numbness or difficulty identifying and expressing feelings. Fear of vulnerability can keep them from having real emotional connections, both with romantic partners and close friends. They may keep people at a distance to protect themselves from potential hurt, causing their relationships to be merely surface level. Engaging in superficial interactions become a habit to avoid deep emotional connections that feel overwhelming or unsafe. What's more, past betrayals or a lack of emotional safety at home can make it challenging for them to trust others fully. They develop skepticism and find it hard forming deep, meaningful bonds with friends and partners. Their fear of vulnerability can create significant barriers to emotional intimacy and authentic connection in adulthood, which can make them feel emotionally isolated and unable to have healthy, reciprocal relationships. 5. Striving for perfection. Children of narcissistic parents may develop a perfectionistic streak as they believe that only flawless performance will earn them the love and attention they crave. This relentless pursuit of perfection can lead to chronic stress and anxiety. In pursuit of their parents' elusive approval, individuals from narcissistic households may develop a relentless drive for perfection. High stress levels. The constant pressure to excel can lead to high stress levels, anxiety, and even burnout. Self-criticism. Perfectionists are often their own harshest critics, setting impossibly high standards for themselves. Difficulty handling failure. Any setback or perceived failure can be devastating because it feels like a rejection of their worth. One notable consequence of this unrelenting quest for perfection is the toll it takes on their mental and emotional well-being. The constant pressure to excel in all aspects of life, whether it be in their careers, academics, relationships, or personal appearance, can lead to chronically elevated stress levels. The weight of unattainable expectations hangs heavily over their heads, creating a perpetual state of anxiety. As they relentlessly strive to meet these unrealistic standards, they may find themselves on the brink of burnout, grappling with physical and emotional exhaustion. Moreover, perfectionists are their own worst enemy. They set impossibly high standards for themselves and hold themselves to an unyielding level of self-scrutiny. Every minor flaw or setback is magnified and internalized as a personal failing. This self-imposed scrutiny can lead to a cycle of relentless self-criticism and a crushing blow to their worth. 6. Difficulty in maintaining healthy relationships. Narcissistic upbringings can sabotage the ability to form and maintain healthy relationships. Individuals raised in such an environment may struggle with trust issues, fear of abandonment, and difficulty empathizing with others, making it challenging to connect on an emotional level. Suspicion and skepticism become second nature, leading them to question the motives and intentions of those around them. This inherent mistrust can create a barrier to forming deep, meaningful relationships, as they may remain guarded and hesitant to let others in. Another formidable obstacle is the fear of abandonment, which often traces its roots to their upbringing. Narcissistic parents may have been emotionally distant or inconsistent in their affection, leaving their children with a persistent fear of being rejected or abandoned. This fear can lead to clingy behavior in relationships, as they desperately seek assurance and validation that they won't be left behind. Paradoxically, this need for reassurance can push others away, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy that further perpetuates their abandonment anxieties. Breaking the cycle. Recognizing the signs of a narcissistic upbringing is the first step towards breaking the cycle. Therapy, self-reflection, and a commitment to self-improvement can help individuals heal from the wounds of their past and develop healthier patterns of behavior. By acknowledging the impact of their upbringing, individuals can begin the journey towards healthier relationships and a more authentic sense of self. Unraveling the narcissistic puzzle and identifying the chilling signs of a narcissistic upbringing is a critical step towards self-discovery and healing. By shedding light on these patterns and their origins, individuals can take control of their lives, break free from the chains of the past, and move towards healthier, more fulfilling relationships and self-acceptance. Your stories and experiences with narcissistic manipulation are powerful. Share in the comments and let others know they're not alone. By understanding the tactics of a narcissist, we can safeguard against their snares. If this resonates, give a thumbs up, share, and subscribe for more insights. Remember, you deserve love and respect. Stand strong, and until our next deep dive, take care.